Okay, so if you're an architect on AWS, you already know that data protection isn't just some checkbox item. It's the absolute foundation of everything you build. But let's be real, with data scattered all over the place, how do you create a security model that's actually simple and doesn't fall apart? Well, in this explainer, we're going to build that exact mental model, focusing on how to do encryption right across the entire AWS ecosystem.
And this right here, this is the big question, isn't it? Your data is literally everywhere. It's in your RDS databases, your S3 buckets, your CloudWatch logs, you name it. Trying to slap a different security tool on each service is just a recipe for disaster. It's complex and full of holes. What you really need is one single unified strategy to protect it all. So how do we get there?
Look, we're dealing with a modern data problem. Our data is spread out and it comes in all shapes and sizes. That just screams for a simple, centralized strategy, not some tangled web of one-off solutions.
And here's the big idea, the mental model you gotta lock in. The solution is not to play whack-a-mole, finding one encryption tool for S3, another for RDS, and a third for your logs. No way. The elegant and, frankly, the sane solution is to have a central key master, one service that holds the keys to the entire kingdom.
And that key master on AWS is the Key Management Service, or as we all call it, KMS. I want you to think of KMS as the hero of our data protection story. It's the secure, central hub where you create, manage, and totally control all of your encryption keys.
Now, at the very heart of KMS is something called the Customer Master Key, or CMK. And here's the key thing to understand. The CMK doesn't actually encrypt your files directly. Instead, think of it like the master key to a massive bank vault. Its only job is to encrypt and decrypt much smaller, single-use keys called data keys. And those are the keys that actually do the heavy lifting of encrypting your data. This whole process is called envelope encryption, and it's brilliant because it means your super powerful master key is never exposed. You just control who gets to use it and when.
Using KMS really just boils down to this super simple three-step logic. First, you create your master key, your CMK. Second, you write a policy that says exactly who or what is allowed to use it. And third, you grant your other AWS services permission to use that key. That's it. That's the core pattern. And it's both incredibly simple and unbelievably powerful.
Okay, so you've got a choice to make here, and it's an important one. You can either let AWS manage the key for you, which is totally hands-off and easy, or you can create a customer-managed key. With the customer-managed one, you get super granular control over its policies, its rotation schedule, everything. Now, the AWS managed option is good for many cases, but if you're in a regulated industry like finance or healthcare, your auditors are almost certainly going to want to see that you have this level of direct control. That's when customer managed keys become pretty much a requirement.
All right, let's put this key master idea into practice. We're going to see how it applies to protecting data at rest. You know, the data that's just sitting there in your storage. And we'll use a simple hub and spoke model. KMS is our central hub, and all the other AWS services are the spokes that connect right into it.
So, our first spoke, Amazon S3. To protect all the files in a bucket, you literally just flip a switch for server-side encryption and point it to your KMS key. That's it. Behind the scenes, whenever you upload a file, S3 calls out to KMS and says, hey, give me a unique data key. S3 uses that key to encrypt your file, then asks your CMK to encrypt the data key itself. See? It's that beautiful envelope encryption pattern in action. Simple, seamless, and rock-solid secure.
Next up, our second spoke, your customer database sitting in Amazon RDS. And guess what? The pattern is identical. When you launch an RDS instance, you just check a box, select your KMS key from a dropdown, and you're done. RDS takes care of the rest, encrypting the underlying storage volumes, all the automated backups, the read replicas, the whole shebang is protected by that one central key that you control in KMS.
And just to really drive this home, let's look at your application logs in CloudWatch. By now, you're probably seeing the pattern, right? It's the exact same hub and spoke model. You associate a KMS key with your log group, and bam, CloudWatch automatically encrypts every single log entry before it hits the disk. So now you've protected files, databases, and logs, all using the exact same centralized, repeatable model. And this right here is where it gets really, really powerful. This isn't just for S3, RDS, and CloudWatch. The same pattern works for your virtual machine disks with EBS, your network file systems with EFS, your message queues, your data warehouses. I mean, dozens and dozens of AWS services integrate with KMS in this exact same way. Once you understand this one pattern, you basically know how to secure almost anything in AWS.
Okay, so our hub and spoke model is perfect for data that's sitting still or data at rest. But what about data that's on the move? You know, data in transit, flying between services or out to your users over the internet. That needs its own layer of protection. We've got to secure the pathways themselves.
For this, the global standard is TLS, or Transport Layer Security. You definitely know it as the S in HTTPS. It's the magic that creates a secure, private, encrypted tunnel between a client and a server. It makes sure that any data passed back and forth can't be spied on or tampered with. For any modern app, this is absolutely non-negotiable.
Now, if you've ever had to manage TLS certificates yourself, you know what a total nightmare it can be. Provisioning them, deploying them, and oh my God, those 2 a.m. alerts when you forgot to renew one. Well, AWS Certificate Manager, or ACM, completely vaporizes that pain. It gives you free public certificates that you can attach to your load balancers and CloudFront distributions, and here's the best part, it handles all the renewals automatically. This makes enforcing HTTPS only a simple set-it-and-forget-it deal.
So we've got our key master, KMS, for data at rest, and we've got ACM for data in transit. Let's pull this all together into a dead simple, actionable blueprint that you can use in every single project you work on.
All right, let's boil this all down. If you walk away with anything today, it's these 3 non-negotiable controls that you should just enable by default. Number 1, encrypt all your sensitive data at rest using a customer-managed KMS key. Make this day one practice, not an afterthought. Number 2, enforce HTTPS only for every single public-facing service. Use ACM, use your load balancers, there's just no excuse for unencrypted web traffic anymore. And number 3, use those granular KMS key policies to lock things down with least privilege. Only grant permission to use a key to the specific people and services that absolutely need it and no one else.
So there you have it. You now have the blueprint for a really robust data protection architecture on AWS. It's simple, it's repeatable, and it's incredibly effective. So the only question left is, which one of these controls are you going to go and enable first?